Hello! Hello, my name is Bruce Rain from Braggers Creations. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is a bit of an impromptu stream. Not normally the time that I would live stream. But I was going to be down here having a look at this Macintosh SE and I thought, well, I may as well live stream it because, well, why not? In my last live stream, I was working on a whole bunch of things, but one of the things I did was I got this really bad shape Macintosh floppy drive from a 2FX high density drive and cleaned it up a little bit, and then I've put it in this SE. Now this SE is of course an 800K machine. This one is an 800K machine, and I don't even know if these high density drives work in an 800K machine. The word that I've heard is that they'll work, but you'll only get 800Ks out of them. I've never actually tested it myself, so I'm not really sure. Now, a couple of good things, if we go here to the side view, a couple of good things about this is if I put a disc in here, it'll have a bit of a think about it, and then it'll say it can't read it, and then I'll eject it, and the eject works. So we've got some progress there, but obviously the drive is not really properly working. So I will, I suspect that the zero track alignment is out because I had to do a complete tear down and all sorts of stuff. So that is my guess. So yeah, anywho, that's the situation there. Now, just going to change the camera here like this. Zing-a-zing. Okay, I'll quickly say hello to Enzo Fitzhume is here. Hello there. Steve from Mac84 is here. And SadMac356 is here. Hello there. And Ryan Design, hello. I didn't really post this stream very much, so we may not get very many people watching it. We were reliant on the YouTube notifications, and of course we know they are sketchy at best. Feel free to invite all your friends. Anyhow, so we are going to be looking at a Macintosh SE, not this one. This one works. This one works quite well. This is one I'm looking to actually kind of restore and potentially sell. It'll be complete with the keyboard and the mouse and all that sort of stuff. It'll have a blue SCSI in it, all that sort of stuff. So it will be all, in theory, fully functional if I can just find a floppy drive that works for it, or fix a floppy drive for it. Now, let me just shut this little fella down, and we'll get to the crux of the problem. Now, basically what happened is relatively recently I was contacted by one of my recapping customers who I have regular contact with. This is a really nice guy, and I've bought some computers from him before. And he said to me, look, are you still on the lookout for an SE FDHD? And I said, well, yes, sir, I am. And he said, well, I've got a couple. He said, I've got an SE FDHD and I've got an SE SuperDrive. And SE SuperDrive is basically just the FDHD, but it has, oh, sun is shining, is basically just an FDHD, but it has, it got bundled with software that allow you to read PC discs from it. So that was the FDHD. DJ Craze, hello there. Everyone's coming over from Trina's. Oh, people, sorry, I didn't realize Trina was streaming. So my apologies to Trina. I am not, it was not my goal to steal your audience. If I do that, I do apologize. As I say, I was going to be down here anyway, so I kind of just said, all right, let's make up a fun little thumbnail and let's stream. And that's kind of where we are. So, Francois, bonjour. It was probably bonsoir where you are now, I would imagine. Is it fixed yet? I haven't even started yet, Dana. Crazy person. One of the things that I did find inside this SE SuperDrive was this beautiful little Maxtor 20 megabyte drive. Now, this is one of these stepper motor drives, and I love these. They are as slow as shit, but I absolutely love the sound they make. I mean, I love it. I mean, ASMR, you know, hard drive seeking, I love it. Now, this is in a very, not the best state, but it is in the most working state of any one of these that I've ever come across. I can actually bring it up in a hard drive formatting software, and I can go through the formatting process, and the little thing goes tick, 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 and then it gets to the end and it says format failed, won't even go through the verification process properly. I have been able to actually partition it, and at one point got the drive to appear on the computer, and then I even installed System 7 on it. The installation seemed to go through quite well, but then when I tried to boot from it, it didn't work. So I guess we're kind of, I don't know, I mean, I might try a few things, see if I can try and map out some bad blocks or something like that and see if I can get it going. Because if I can get this going, even just for a little while, just to record the audio of the stepper motor spinning backwards and forwards, I love the sound of them. So, okay, just checking things here. SCSI, yep, this is definitely a SCSI. So we see the 50 pin connector there, and it actually says here is the model 8425SA. HDA is 06, PCBA is 03, unique is 07. There you go. If that means anything to you, it has a sticker on it here, dated 3rd of March 1992. So this is obviously well after this computer would have been made. This computer would have come out. Actually, I'm not sure when the SuperDrive one came out, but anyhow, it says inspected by 3rd of March 1992, Mac Store, repaired, quality. I'm not sure what order you're supposed to read that in. I just read it from top to bottom. So this is repaired at some stage. Curious to know what was done to repair it, but obviously at a time when these sorts of 20 megabyte drives, in the era, in the right era, these were a couple of $1,000 just for that. At the right time, you know, at a particular time in history. Sound can be recreated when using a SCSI to ST card device. Yeah, I mean, that would be, I mean, I'd say I just love the sound these make. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like the sound of the ones with the flippy flappy arm as well. I like the sound of those, but the stepper motor sound is just awesome. So that is what I'm endeavoring to do. I don't necessarily want to have this as a fully functional hard drive because I don't think it will be. But if I can just get it to work long enough for me to record the audio, the little thing going, that is the plan. Okay, so I get this SuperDrive Macintosh SE packed beautifully, gets delivered in a timely fashion. It came from the other side of the island, it came from Perth. It arrived, set it up, plugged it in, fired it up, and I hear the sound of this hard drive, and I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. And it even started up, got a happy back face, and then it stopped, and then just kind of just didn't work. So the drive is, as I say, the drive is kind of cactus, but you know. Anyhow, while I'm doing this, I'm thinking, okay, well, let's cycle it off and on a couple of times because maybe that'll just kick the drive out. You know, sometimes you will get a drive just coming in, you know. No, I haven't said hello to Soup Wizard, hello. I haven't said hello to Ghostly Lurker, hello, and Michael Mullet, hello. So anyhow, I'm cycling the power a couple of times. Same thing happened. Comes up, you hear the hard drive do its, and then it would get a happy Mac face, and then it would just stop. So third time I power cycled. Now I'm not doing it like tick 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 tick. I was switch it on, let it run for a bit, switch it off, switch it on, run for a little bit. The third time I cycled it on, dead, completely dead. The computer is dead as a doornail. It's like dead, D-E-D-D, dead. Starbuck Tech, hello there. So yeah. So anyhow, this surprises me. This is not normally the behaviour I would expect from an SE. I mean, SE, there are all sorts of things that happen when they start to have problems, but being completely dead is generally not one of them. You killed it by power cycling. I probably killed it by being mean to it in its old age. So it just basically on the third or fourth time I went and switched it on, just didn't switch on, just totally dead. Boom, dead, boom. Now, it has a Sony power supply, and I think that is the most likely culprit for the problems we're having, so I'm going to open it up and have a look. I really want this computer working. I want this one to be a complete unit. I will, again, put a blue SCSI in this. And I've even got a Dana Ethernet D-A-Y-N-A, not D-A-N-A, Dana, in case you were thinking I was talking about you. I've got an Ethernet card for an SE, and they're pretty rare. You don't come across them that often. You're more likely to get one for the SE, which of course also works in a 2SI. You're more likely to get a network card for an SE30. But an SE, an old SE, finding a network card that works in those is really quite unusual. So and it was given to me. I think it was given to me by Charlie. So shout out to Charlie. Hello, thank you. And so anyhow, I'm thinking that I will probably put that network card in this. So it will have blue SCSI inside, and internally mounted, and then the network on the little port coming out. Sam Johnson, hello. John, hello. Dana, you must be patient. Still faster than local talk. Yes, it is. I'm having Ethernet on my SE, but it is slow. Yes, I know. But what you also have to ask the question with an SE is, how big of files are you copying to it anyway? It's not like you're going to be copying a 10 megabyte JPEG or something like that. You're, most of the applications and games and things that work on these old SEs are tiny anyway. I generally run System 7.01 on an SE. I think that's a nice balance between System 7 features without the massive RAM overhead. This one has 4 megabytes of RAM in it, and of course if it didn't, I would have put that in. 4 megabytes is the maximum amount of RAM you could put into an SE, and that is it. You cannot put any more in. Everyone asks, because there's been this SE reloaded board, and I know people, that was one of the questions everyone was asking. They're asking about the classic reloaded, and they're asking about the SE reloaded. Can we put some more RAM in it, please? And the resounding answer that came from Kai was, no, you can't. And I trust Kai because he has a large, delicious brain. So I just have to trust everything that he says because he is a lot smarter than I am. So what we're going to be doing here, I probably should change views to the top view because that will be more practical. This is the analog board. I've just taken the little cover off it here. And I've really had no chance to test anything on this thing. If you have an SE and you're, sort of thinking of recapping it, by all means do it. But I don't sort of feel like, I feel like the SE is one that you can just address when it fails, rather than going, oh, I've got to do it or it's going to corrode the board or something like that. It's not like that with the SE. It's either working or it ain't working. So yeah, that's fairly straightforward. One of the things I also tend to do when I'm working with an SE is check the resistance of R26. So we're going to get ourselves a Kaiweets KM601 digital multimeter, true RMS, 10,000 count, or 9999. And I just have to find the probe that's gone missing. I was using it the other day for something else, and I removed it, and then I don't know where it is. So we may not actually be using the Kaiweets if I can't find this friggin' probe. Here it is. Found it. Everyone, calm down. It's all right. You can relax. I think I'm going to be needing to put some new batteries in this one soon. This would be its third set of batteries since I bought it. And you'll know how long I've had it because you can have a look at the review I did on it. And of course it did get a bit of a workout during that review because I was doing all sorts of testing of the auto power off and stuff like that. All right, so that's fine. So this is measuring 830 kilo ohms. Now this is meant to be a 1 mega ohm resistor. It is a 1 mega ohm resistor. And so if you are reading anything greater than 1 mega ohm, like you might just be reading open or you might be reading some sort of hugely high resistance, then you want to replace this resistor here. What does that resistor do? I hear you asking. It is part of the focusing. And if that resistor blows, and it does blow on these quite regularly, if that resistor blows, you won't be able to focus. You'll twiddle the little twaddle and it won't focus at all. So, thank you, Enzo. You're very, 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 very quick on the mark when it comes to the old Kaiweets blurb there. Okay, no worries. You have your shower, Francois. Definitely. Now. I don't think the problem is here. I might recap this later on, we'll see, but I really don't think the problem is here. I think the problem is here. And I have to confess, I don't even remember if I've ever recapped one of these, so I may not even have the caps for it. It looks sort of familiar, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it does look very familiar actually, so I think I probably have. So we're going to undo some screwbies here. Where's my big screwdriver? I saw one over here just the other day. Here it is. Excusez-moi. There's our little grounding wire thingy-bob. Now, I don't think you need to undo these. I think they're holding on heat sinks or something like that. I think you only need to do the ones on the side. I may not have even needed to do that one I just did. Done, did, done, did. Oh, hang on. I could be completely wrong. So I look inside. And that's not it. Okay, maybe I do need to undo those. So let's do that. Need to remove the heat screws. So they're probably screwed onto a heatsink that's attached on the other side of the board then. And obviously that means that this whole section here works to help dissipate the heat from that heatsink. Yep. Thank you for that. Thank you, K-Mac Vintage. Hello there. Need to do all but the ground. So the very first one I did, I didn't need to did. So there we go. That way. Was it that way? We'll do it that way. Ground goes back on so he doesn't get lost. Okay. Now, hello. Yes, I've definitely recapped one of these. This looks very familiar to me. I think I've even got a recapping guide for this one on my website. Now, as I said, this was dead. I mean, completely dead. Now, one thing I didn't do was actually test the logic board to see if the logic board was okay. So what do you reckon I should do? Do you reckon I should test this and the other one first before I go around and recap it? Or should I just recap it? What do you think? What do you think? What are people thinking? Should I just recap it and then hope that it's okay? Because it was completely dead, I am going to just check the continuity of the fuse, because when things go, well, completely dead, it could be a fuse. Okay, no problem with the fuse. This is definitely not the fuse. If I power it up now, then this great big fat capacitor here might end up getting all charged up. So I'm not sure I want to do that. Oh, let's just whip it out and have a look, eh? We've come this far on our little journey together. One thing I do like about the Sony power supply over the other one, was it Toshiba or Aztec or whichever one it was, I don't know, the other one. One I was recapping on my live stream the other day. One thing I do like is that this one has a connector that you can just undo here like this. Boom. And then you can get the board, take it away. So, who's gone a bit crazy with that gluey gunk? Okay. The good news just works. So check before recap. Oh, okay. Look, we're getting a knowledgeable advice coming here now. So that's what we're going to do. Whoopsie. Interesting things happen when you try and screw a screw into a hole that already has a screw in it. All right, so we're going to test it based on the advice of K-Mac Vintage. Yeah. So I've got a magnet here to try and help me get this screw out, and the magnet wants to stick to everything. Oh, come on. Excuse me while I whip this out. That's Blazing Saddles. I just want to hold this in a little bit while I test it. So I'm just going to put one screw back in. Screws fall out. It's an imperfect, world is an imperfect place. All right, so let's connect that up. And righty. So we're going to test it, are we? Okay, that's what we're going to do. Going to plug in some juice. Don't do this at home, folks. And okay. And then we will get our little DC voltage reading here. See, who needs to put your multimeter readings up on the computer screen when you've got a great big screen like this on the Kaiweets KM601? Okay, let's go there. Okay, green wire, minus 8.4. Let's go red wire, 10.7 volts. What do you say about that? Yellow wire, 11.34 volts. Orange wire, 5.56 volts. What are you thinking about that? See, isn't that weird that I've got, why would I have 11.3 in one and 10.7 in the other? Huh? And then obviously minus 8 point, that's meant to be, I guess, minus 12. Yeah, curiosity. Curiosity. Will it power an SE? That's the question. Do I put it back on and swap it over and see? Or do we just recap it? We just say, recap it. Let's do it. Just do it. Let's do it. Do it for Johnny. Yeah. I mean, look, I think it needs to be done anyway. I don't think there's much doubt about that. Now, this thing is going to be completely and totally charged up. So I'm going to have to be more careful now. I could discharge it, but that always scares the willies out of me. Scares the willies, I tells ya. Rudy, hello there. Okay, so I think I need to undo this because that looks like that is clamped onto the side. Oopsie. Come on. Thank you. Whoopsie. All care taken. So what do you reckon? Should I zap this thing so I don't zap myself? I hate doing these. What do you reckon? Oh God. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, you ready? Oh God, I hate doing these. Okay. All good. No fizz. We're safe. We can all calm down now. So this one is a 620 microfarad for 400 volts. That one there. It was no fun, was it? SE power supply needs a load to measure proper voltages. Don't tell me that, Ryan. Now what? Oh, it's out. Let's just recap the friggin' thing. Okay, what have I got here? I've got a couple of, what are these, 350 volt? 4.7. What are the chances I have those? I'm going to say fairly slim. I don't think I even have a container for 350 volt. I've got one for 250. Those ones might be staying for now. 100 volt, 200 volt. I do have a few little miscellaneous ones in here. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. 250 volt, 63 volt, 16 volt, 10 volt, 50 volt. I've got some 160 volt in there. And that's empty. There is an absolute nothing in that container. So we won't find it in there. Oh crap. That was bound to happen sooner or later. Right. Now, let's have a look and see what I do have. All right, so I think these ones might have to stay because I don't have these caps. I mean, I can whip them out and test them to see if they're within spec. But anyhow, we can at least continue. We can proceed. God, this has got a lot of caps in it. Not happy. We can proceed with these ones, and who knows, we might find some funky looking ones. Right. Let's whip one out, shall we? Yeah, Studio wants to update to Ventura and it's going to keep nagging you. It's going to keep nagging you over and over again. I don't like Ventura very much. I think it might get good when they fix all the frickin' bugs. But at the moment, it is very, very buggy. And I think I would rather use Monterey, but they wouldn't allow me to do that on my Mac Mini. Because they'd be awful. Well, it's too late now. It's too late now. It's happening. It's happening. It's all happening. Just cut some of this snot off. Always got this snot on the power supplies. Celastic, as they say. I'd be fine with Ventura if it wasn't so freaking buggy. But it is. All right, what have we got here? I think this is going to be an exercise in finding out what caps I don't have. 2200. (2200) 16 volt. I'm going to use the Floke to measure this because it does measure capacitance faster than the K-Wheats. Someone told me it's because they have the 9 volts in them. That's why they're faster. I don't know if it's true, but you know. Oops, out of screen. $2,059. So this is 2200, so that's a little bit out. I said 16, didn't I? Yes, that's what I said. 35, actually, where's 16? 10, yeah. There's 16. I've got 2 containers of 16 because there are so many 16 volt capacitors out there, and they're both up here. So, this one is the smaller ones, and this one is the bigger ones. 2216. I've got 2 different types of 2216 even. I've got long skinny ones and short little fat ones. Got a new Mac Mini M2 Pro and I'm stuck with it. Yep, gut bomb, I'm in exactly the same boat. Let's see what this one, the brand new one, measures. Oopsie. 2140. Okay, there's the plus, little plus logo. And we'll plonk that in there. And that will be our first capacitor. And we will sing Tales of Yore. We will remember this day that the first capacitor went in. I have some very specific bugs that I'm getting with Ventura, and it may be the computer, it might be the hardware, but one of them relates to the rendering of some graphics that sometimes just appear on the screen blurry, and then they just kind of get sharp when they feel like it. And the other is with Spotlight, when I'm searching for things, if I'm searching for something on a particular drive, actually I don't even know if it's drive specific, but if I'm searching for something with Spotlight, is it Spotlight? No, it's just the normal find. Well, that's Spotlight, isn't it? So if I search for something and it brings up, like let's say I'm looking for a particular word, and it brings up a whole bunch of files that have that word in it, and I see a folder, and I go, oh, it's in that folder. I double click the folder, the Finder crashes. And it's stupid. Okay, so this is 10 volts, 3300. Goodness me, I don't even know if I can have that. I use wick for this. I know I have the solder sucker. I don't know, I just probably prefer using wick. 10 volts, 3300. Well, I seem to have a lot in the 10 volt thing, so we can only hope. There we go, look at that, 3300. See, I probably did buy a bunch of caps for this thing. I mean, I think they'll probably sort, well, I hope they sort Ventura out. And I kind of feel like the Mini might need a bit of a firmware update at some stage. I've been having some weird issues with I/O. Because I have so many external drives attached to it, and it gets a little bit upset sometimes. Because some of them are new drives that I got with the machine, so there could be problems with the drive as well. So that's also a possibility I have to accept. And one more here is a big fat fella. Let's hope he doesn't get too self-conscious about that though. I'm just going to move the camera down a little bit because there we go. I tend to work right on the edge of the desk, and so then you end up not seeing stuff. Suddenly birds, sorry, was there bird noises? I don't even notice these days. I tend to just blank out. I have mentioned this before. If you have not heard this, if you have heard this before, I apologise, but if not, this is for you. Where I'm located here is basically a shed in my backyard. And right next to that shed is an absolutely massive ficus. A huge fig tree, which I don't know how old it is, but the trunk is just massive. You can see it from the space station. That's a lie. I mean, you probably could if you had a powerful enough camera, but So I get a lot of bird life here. So, you know. Oh, thank you very much for that, Dana. Please smash yes. Oh, I didn't test that last one, did I? And that I should be doing that. So this is 3310. Wouldn't it be funny if it was the logic board that was dead? 32, yeah, that's in spec. Now, obviously, I'm not testing the ESR, the equivalent series of resistance. This is 10 volt 6800. That's the weirdest size ever. $65.44 again. I think that's probably within spec. 10 volt 6800. Oh, I've got them. Yes, I've clearly purchased capacitors for this, but I didn't purchase these ones on the primary side. Because I have not got these 350 volt ones. I obviously just got lazy and only bought the ones off the secondary side. Never mind. See, that's the little line that goes down the middle there. Primary, secondary. And right there, it's right there. Can't see it. Right there is the bridge rectifier, right there. Always hunt down the bridge rectifier. It makes me feel good. Okay, so this is 6800 10 volt. Helps with the algorithm, yeah. Which PSU model is this? The thing I was reading was about the Sony CR44. This is the Sony CR44. So you were reading the right thing. Oh, Jay's here. Hello, Jay. Where have you been? What's all that about? Let's face it, if I'm doing a live stream and Jay's not turning up, I think, what the hell? I mean, I've streamed 3 times within a week. People are going to be getting sick of my head. Okay. Let us continue, shall we? Let's move on. I've just got to get some more snot off here. Snot. Cleaning the toilet. Cleaning the bathroom. Thought you might have been watching that little live stream that you keep trying to get me to watch. We've got a little tiny fella down here. Let's get him out. I didn't test the big one, did I? 6800, or did I? Did I test the big one? I think I did. So, or maybe I didn't. I don't know, I'm going to test it again just in case. Yeah, I think I did test it. God, imagine what it's going to be like in years to come when I'm doing these streams and I'm just completely losing my marbles. And I'm just, you know, I'll get on here and I'll just be talking about nonsense and stuff. I mean, more than usual. Helicopter going overhead. Sorry about that. We are actually in a helicopter flight path here. So we do get a fair bit of helicopter noise compared to other places. There we go. Out you come, little feller. So really starting to think like the problem is not with the power supply and the deadness of the computer is actually the logic board. Now, if that is the case, well, things. 16 volt 470. $4.95, that's right. Thunder the Thundarian. Okay, 16 volts. I'm sure I grabbed it already. Yeah, I did. So this little guy is a 16 volt 470. 16 volt 470. I'm replacing all of these caps with 100. All these are 85 degrees C, and I'm replacing them with 105 degrees C. So the hope is that these will actually last longer than the originals. That is the hope. I'm pretty sure Steve made up a... Oh no, actually I made the recapping guide for this one, I think. And he made a guide for another one. I don't know if this guide's on the website though. I have this on my computer. I use it for my SEER. But actually it might even be in my book, in the recapping book. Yes, definitely making an allowance for global warming. Of course, the SE had a fan in it, unlike the ones that came prior to it, the Macintosh Plus 512 and 128K, that did not have a fan in it. And that was a cause of some consternation. Did I just open on the right page? 2SI power supply. No, I did not. LC. Here we go. SE30 Sony power supply. Look at that. Look at that. Now I did label the 4.7 350, so I knew they were there, but it doesn't look like I bought any. I mean, unless they're sitting in and borrowing the space of another container, but I would have labelled it, wouldn't I? Wouldn't I? Surely. Suppose I could look in some of those containers that don't have many of others in there. There might be one in there. We'll see. Okay, so that's that one. Let's move to the next one. 16 volt 2200. Given that this is my SE, there's nothing really wrong with me recapping it, is there? No. 16 volt 2200. This looks like it's got a bit of leakage. It's still reading reasonably within spec, but if you have a look there, oh, the microscope's out of sync again. Hate it when that happens. Skip your... Oh, God. It's impossible. It's impossible. A bit more. I've got like maybe a 2-second delay before what I have under the camera scene. But anyhow, that is clearly some leakage there. So, you know, this cat may not be super happy. So, you know, it's good. It's good to replace. Here's 2216. Might just clean some of that gunk away while I'm here. time is it? Midday. Midday. This can't necessarily be a long stream because I didn't have breakfast. And so when lunch comes along, I'm going to be super hungry. And I'm going to have some leftovers of a stir fry I made the other night. That was delicious. It's one of the tastiest things I've ever made. Leftovers, yum. Okie dokie. I'm just curious about how many people are watching tonight. 25. That's not too bad. For a live stream that I gave absolutely zero warning about, I literally streamed within 30 minutes of me setting the thing up. I'm very happy to have 25 of you lovely folks watching. When you look at the stats, range, that's right on the range. Range. Rel hold. Rob Page, well, thank you very much for that. Yeah, kind of just, I always think if I'm going to be sitting down here doing this stuff, because it's quite repetitive, just pulling all these caps out and whatnot, may as well jump on. 16 volt, 470 microfarad. I could just whip these off, all of them, and then, oh wow, look, I've got two different types of the same cap. Which one should I use? These ones are, don't see a brand name on these. Ah well, doesn't matter, they'll work. They're both 105. I think the other one just has the legs further apart. Lead spacing, as they call it. Dave is here. Hello there, Dave. How you been? As we would say in Australia, how's it going? All right? Jesus. Something fell down. Broken CRT. Well, that's okay. I can't get any more broken then. Move to another one. Good to hear. Jeremy, hello there. Happy hour. And here you are. There we go. Good stuff. That's what I like to hear. It is a weird sort of time for me to stream. I don't normally stream on what is, I think it's Thursday here today. I say I think because it's been a funny week because we had a public holiday on Tuesday. And whenever you have a day off in the middle of a week, you kind of forget what day of the week it is afterwards. So, yeah, it's Thursday. So it's Thursday today. 2216. Yes, today is Thursday. See, even Siri knows. Hey Siri. Memorial Day on May 29. Oh, that looked like it was a bit leaky as well. Yeah, this one's a bit leaky as well. So I think I've replaced 3 2200s so far, and all of them have had a little bit of leakage on them. The first one a tiny bit, the second one a little bit more, and this one a little bit more than the first one, but a little bit less than the second one. Does that all make sense? There will be a test afterwards. I'm off till the 8th. Yeah, that's all right. That's a long time. I have a new Mac coming supposedly on Tuesday. It's, when I say new, it would do new in inverted commas because it's not actually new, it's secondhand, it's refurbed. And it is going to replace the computer that I'm using right this very second to live stream, which is starting to struggle a little bit with the, I mean, if you could see the CPU activity right now, it's like Ecamm Live, this is a software I live stream with, 310% CPU. You know, it's all maxed out and I can hear the fan going nuts. So the hope is that I will be able to run my live streams with a little less kind of strain on the computer. So I've got an M1 Mac Mini coming, and that will be nice. A great little video. I'll recommend it for people to watch if they want to. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. Snazzy Labs released a video recently of him building a Macintosh. I found it fascinating. I mean, ultimately, he ended up building a computer that is faster than the Mac Studio, but it uses a hell of a lot more of the power as well. You know, for a little while there, the Apple Silicon was kind of like, oh wow, this is the fastest thing ever, this is the greatest, this is the greatest. And of course it's not the fastest thing ever. You know, there are faster things on Intel for sure, and of course we know that the GPU performance is far greater on with those, you know, PCI cards and stuff like that, and that's all good. There is of course that whole power trade-off. I mean, those Intel machines use a ton more power, and especially when you look at those GPUs, you look at the amount of power those things need to use if you want to do a bit of gaming. I don't really care too much about the GPU side of things. I obviously use it for Final Cut Pro, but I don't play games. I just don't play games because I lose interest in them very, very quickly. But it was, I just found it quite interesting looking at the steps he went in building a Macintosh. 4400, yeah, 4700, cool. Yes, it is a Mac SE, the Mac Geek. And you know what? I am recapping the power supply, and I don't think it even needs it. But that's okay, it's mine. I have no issue with actually doing it. I suspect I'm in 4716. We have found some leakage. Oh no! 4716. Big void. We'll see if we've got a 4700 and something bigger, but I don't think we will. I did buy some more caps the other day. I wonder if there's some of the ones I bought. I don't think they are, because the 4700s are big fat things. And most of the caps I ordered were small. I did! I did. Happy days. Sing like the you know, the old lady at the nursing home. Happy days. Okay. 4716. I don't have a Mac SE yet, but I want to play around with one. Yeah, well, look, they're great. I mean, I've been singing the praises of SEs a lot lately, and that's mainly because I've been doing a lot of stuff with SEs. I got hold of one as part of a kind of lot of computers. Lot, when I say lot, there was 3 of them. Does 3 account for a lot? I'm not sure. I got an SE, an SE30, and a Centrus 650. And I already had an SE, so I've got one up in the house there. And then I got a third one, and the third one was very deliberate. I went and bought this SE, and this is the SE I wanted. Because it's a super drive. It's one that has a high density floppy drive. But look, the SE is a really fun little computer. Obviously, you've got a monochrome screen and all that sort of stuff, but they're good fun. I like them. And if you are going to own a 6800000 Mac, I would say the SE is the one to get hold of. I have two SE30s, but no SE yet. Well, am I shipping this one to you then, Dana? You can't just get one Mac SE. I have not. Yes, I've found that compact Macs do seem to breed. I have so many compact Macs now. It's I just find it find it very hard to resist when an opportunity comes up to get one for cheap or something like that, and you're just like, oh yeah, just grab that one, just get one more. This is a 47016 in she goes. I got classics coming out of my ears. At one stage, I was just getting classics from all over the place. They were just coming up like either cheap or people were giving them to me or whatever the case may be. And I just ended up with so many classics. I had, I mean, it's not a lot by a lot of people's standards, but I don't generally collect lots of the same computer. But I have got 2 or 3 classics and 2 or 3 classic 2s. And then I've got obviously now 3 SEs. I've got 2 SE30s and a 512KE and a Plus. And oh, do we count the Color Classic? Okay, Color Classic. And I think that's it. I think that's it for the compacts. Yeah. So I think it's 3 classics and possibly 3 classic 2s as well. It might be 2. But yeah, and they just breed. You just put them in a room and they breed. Right. So that's all of those kind of more, I guess what you'd call more likely to be a problem capacitor. Then we've got a few little ones here. Let's just have a look at those wherever I put my book. Let's see where I put my book. Oh, here it is. On the floor. It's the best place for it. So 1 microfarad 50, 25, 25, so 22, 25. So let's do those first, or not. Yeah. So 25 volt. Where's 25? 25 must be here on the floor. That's where I keep things. 25. What did I say? What did I say? 22. 22, 22, 22. I don't have any. I don't have any 22, 25s. What kind of idiot doesn't have 22, 25s? Huh. What have I got here? 35. No. I mean, I've certainly got, I think I have them in surface mount electrolytic, but what were these ones again? These were 350 volt 4.7. I used to have some 4.7 400s, but I used them. I bought a bunch of caps the other day. I can't remember what size they were. I put them in the container. So we may not be changing these little guys. So, yeah. All right. That's it then. We're not changing the little guys. Yeah, I think the old Macs are more fun than new ones. I have a lot of laptops. I feel like I have a laptop for every occasion. The main one I use when I go out to meetings is just a little 2016 MacBook Pro. And then I've got a great big 17-inch i7 2010 model, I think. 2010 model, I think. And then I got a 15-inch 2012 i7 quad core, and then I've got a couple of what do you call those things? MacBook Airs, three or four MacBook Airs. Got 13-inch and the 11-inch ones, and and then in terms of 13-inch MacBook Pros, I've got those coming out of my ears. They're just everywhere. So what did we decide? We decided we're not going to recap these little tiny ones because. All right, so let's just put them back together and see what happens, eh? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It'll just blow up and then we'll have some really good footage for the channel. Case. Where to put the case? It can't be too far away. And I've been here the whole time. Did I put it? Oh, I put it down. Put it down. So we're probably going to get the same sort of readings we were before, because Ryan is basically saying that this needs a load on it before you end up getting any meaningful sort of voltage results. And I have no reason to think that Ryan is lying to me. Okay, stir up some screws. One screw. I've got to get this thing magnetized. And I try and magnetize it, but it never stays long. Just reading from a forum post. Oh, you can try and pass on the blame all you like. You will be held personally responsible. I think this one, no. This one. Oh, I've got one of these stupid. Out. Thank you. Okay, so 1 screw, 2 screw, 3 screw, wheel screw. No, that's not how it goes. Let's get this on. So this is the little metal clampy thing that holds this transistor. I assume it's a transistor. I didn't bother to look at it. In place. Probably should have put some thermal paste on that one. Right. Okay. You suggest adjusting the V-adjust. Oh, there's the V-adjust, I see it. VAG. Pot to plus 5.55 volt. When not loaded is about right. See, look at the help that I get as I'm doing this is just awesome. Right. Now, so let's get some power connected. Now I've put all new caps on this. I may have put one backwards, so there's always that hope that it might blow up. Didn't blow up. Alrighty, let's go in and check this stuff. So let's try the green wire. Minus 8.51. Orange wire, 5.5. Well, that's what you said, wasn't it? So yeah. 10.78. 11.38. Look, it is definitely higher than it was when we started, I think, isn't it? Maybe? Is it? Possibly? Maybe? Yes? 5.5. I'm sure it was lower than 5.5 before. So, let's disconnect this, because I'm about to do dangerous things. Nope. Yep. Should I put some new thermal paste on this? Don't say yes. I will anyway. Now, one of the tips that I learned from Jay from the House of Moth is you can never have enough thermal paste, ever. You just need to just keep putting more and more on. He's plenty of videos on the subject. Check out his channel and see what he tells you about thermal paste. Just use more. Simple as that.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Wasn't talking to you, Siri.
Okay.
I like actually just loading loads and loads of thermal paste on things just to trigger him. It's fun. For continued protection against risk of fire, replace only with same type and rating of fuse. What have I done wrong? What? Oh, that's what I did wrong. I'm an idiot. That's what I did wrong. Oh, it moved. Now I've got thermal paste everywhere. Your mother's upset. Thank you. Oh, boy. Harder than it should have been. Now I've got some big screws and some little screws, long screws and short screws. And I think the long screws go into the heat sinks. "4:30 a.m. and I'm curating the list of wanted gear for the microelectronics station at Fab Lab." Okay. Hello, Craig Brady. Welcome to the stream. What's going on, Mr. Cap-Ass? We know you said it, Dave. We have a recording. Right, now, I'm going to put this back onto the analog board, the same analog board, not a different one. And then we are going to, I'll go up and get the computer that is actually dead, and we'll check and see if it works on that one. I was going to test it on this one down here, but now that there is some doubt as to whether the problem was the analog board / power supply anyway, why is this not going in properly? Am I putting the wrong screw in the wrong place? Yeah. No, it's the right screw. Must just be a bit off. Because it's just, it feels like it's going off center. Yeah. Oh, well, I think I'm just going to rip the thread and we'll just do it and be happy about it. There you go. Well, there you go. Never heard Siri say, okay, in that accent. Well, yes, you got to have the Australian Siri. We have to have the Australian Siri. I can't understand anything else. So it's like a foreign language. Okay, hello, hello, hello. Oh, you know. All right, we're gonna put the analog board. Here it is. Go around that way. Plonk him on there. Plonkety plonk. And let's find the screws. I think it's these little guys here. Does Siri use casual profanity? No, Siri does not. It's very hard. I'd love it if Siri did, but Siri doesn't have a foul mouth or anything like that. God, I was at a meeting the other day, and the guy I was meeting with, he swore so much during the meeting, and I was just like, you know, I mean, that's fine. I don't care. I don't mind. But, you know, you put your kind of professional hat on and you go to the meeting and you just, you know, stay all nice and whatnot. And this guy was just swearing his head off. Now, I did drop a screw before, and I might find it quickly and easily, or I might find it another day. But I will need my other glasses for that. Here's the other glasses, and we just have a quick look here, get our little torch, or a flashlight, as they are sometimes referred to. Oh, nice and easy, right there. Woo, woo. Oops. Foofa. The N word? You serious? It's generally not a word that's used, certainly not in the parts I come from. I have to admit, I've never heard an Australian use that word ever. I hear it on American TV a lot. Okay, I just want to show you something very quickly here, and something that we're going to look at right now. This is the yoke connector for this Mac, and if you have a look here, right here, you can see we've got cracking. It's very common to get cracking around these joints here. We've got some nice cracking going on this one, and some really nice cracking going on that one. So it is really something you should do with every SE that you get. If this hasn't been done, do it. I say, do it. Nando's. Okay, Jeremy, enjoy your dinner. I'm going to stop for lunch fairly soon, but we do want to get this SE working first. Got to get that sense of satisfaction. What I do with these is I generally do 2 pins at a time, because I don't want, if I undo them all, the thing might fall out. I don't want that. I also like to get a nice little blob on the top of the pin. This little pin here, I like to get a blob on the top of it. So I put the solder on here, Get it all melty, melty, melty. And then I go like this. And then we get a nice little blob on the top. See the blob? Isn't that nice? And then I go like this. Melty, melty, melty. Blob. Oh, that was not as pretty. Never mind. Let's try again. Blob. There we go. That's better. It's the little things, people. It's the little things. Where I live, the population is 2/3 black. Using that word is a good way to shorten one's life. Obviously, one really important thing in Australia is that it is very different in terms of the whole things that went on in the US with regard to slavery and whatnot. So while we do have a black population, it's not a particularly big black population, I have to say that. Where I live, there are quite a lot of Indigenous Australians. But you're likening their situation more like the Indigenous Americans. That would be a closer approximation to the situation there. Oh, excuse me a second. My wife is calling. Just bear with me. Sorry about that, folks. Must, of course, answer the phone when the wife calls. That is, you know, that's just how it works. Okay, so I am going to put this cover back on. Is it premature? Who knows? Maybe still have work to do. Yeah. Okay, now I am going to have to duck off in a sec. It will be very quick, but the chassis for this computer is up at the house. So in order for me to test it properly, I need to go up there and grab it. Now, it's thankfully a very short trip. I feel like I'm missing one of these. Maybe it was... Now I'm missing two of these. Oh, God, I hate these little things. Hate them with passion. So much joy out of my SE30 since installing one of your Blue SCSI cards. Awesome. Yeah, it does make a difference, doesn't it? It sort of brings new life to these old Macs when you can do that. Having no real limitation to the amount of space that they have. I mean, I know there is still a limitation, but realistic with a lot of the apps and games and stuff you can play on that, if you have like, I don't know, 8 gigabytes of space on there, potentially broken up into 2 gigabyte partitions, but you've just got so much space on those old things. Right, okay, so I am missing this guy a little here, which I did drop on the floor, and he might just be nearby, but probably not. Those things usually bounce miles away. Just have a quick look here with the torch. No, that's it. No, it's gone for 6. I do actually have a few spares of them, but I'm not sure if I can be bothered for this little testing phase. So I'm going to just do the back soon. I'm going to duck off, grab the chassis of this computer, and then we shall do the testing. So bear with me, please. Hello. Okay, so let's get this put back together. Getting random data corruption. That's interesting. I would check and make sure that you're on the latest firmware for that, and obviously also make sure you're using a good quality SD card. We do have to remember that SD cards are not SSDs, and they're not really designed to be used as hard drives. But you can kind of get away with it with these old Macs because it's not as demanding. I'm going to put my big 10-inch. There it is. I'll put it away. Here's my big 10-inch. Even the SCSI vendor and model are appearing corrupted randomly. It could, of course, be crap. I assume you're using the version 1.1 with the, as opposed to the version 2 or whatever, the one that has the, what do you call those things? Blue pill on it. Because sometimes you can get crappy blue pills because those things are pumped out and they're manufactured by third parties and whatnot, and sometimes they're not so crash hot. Androida F4 Lite 1.1. No, don't know that one. Got it. May or may not have broken something in the process, but I definitely got it open. Okay. Let's rest that precariously there. I will not be able to get up while that's there. And we've got ourselves a little, what is it, RF shieldy protectory or anything. And so this is the guy. Let's have a look at him. Side view. Side view. Here we go. Macintosh SE Super Drive. Super Drive. I haven't pulled out the floppy drive and done any servicing on that yet. That'll happen a little bit later. And of course, another thing I always do with these is I run a little extension from the activity light, so that if I mount a blue SCSI, say on the back here, or even if I mount a blue SCSI here and it's too far away from this connector, I can still get the activity light on the front, because I love activity lights. I love drive activity lights. Just, you know, sue me. I don't know. Yeah, Francois, I've actually had a few people that have offered all sorts of different ways of opening these cases up. One of them, of course, is to unscrew these top ones. Can't really see because of the camera angle, but unscrew these top ones first and have it so they're not all the way out, just part of the way out, and then push them down to sort of try and release the top of the case there. But in all honesty, that one there that I just opened is the hardest one I've ever had to open. Most of them just come open like that. So I don't really use any kind of tricks with that because they're just open. Now I'm going to have a quick look at this logic board. Make sure there's nothing obviously wrong here. Because as I mentioned before, this computer is completely dead. Completely dead. That's it there. And looks good to me. I've got 4 megabytes of RAM here. This is one of the later models of a logic board that has this little jumper here for setting the RAM. So it's got 3 different positions that it can be in, and this is in the 4 megabyte position, so that we can have 4 megabytes of RAM there. Obviously, the very early ones you had a resistor that you cut, and then later on they put a little sort of board on top of where the resistors were, like a little separate little board on top that had jumpers. And then this is the latest revision, which has that jumper built into the board itself. And of course, the other way you know it's a later revision is it has a battery holder rather than the battery soldered to the board. Yeah, so this is our lovely little SE logic board. Let's connect it up. We'll connect up our analog board and we'll see if it switches on. Tiddly-pom. Possibly even boot it, because I do have System 7.0 here. Here it is. Here's my analog board. I think I'm probably better off with a side view for this one. Joe, hello there. How to use the test points on these classic make motherboards? I have never bothered. Having said that, Michael, some of the really early Macs there are schematics. They were created, the ones that they're not the genuine Apple ones. They're the ones created by I can't remember the name of the company. It'll come to me. And on those schematics, they do actually show that because it's a jumper, it's like a J something, and they do actually show that, and they show what all those wires go to. So you can actually go in and have a look at those have a look at those schematics and actually see what all those outputs are, and so then you could theoretically use them. Someone contacted me a while ago, I can't remember who, and I'm sure I replied to them that they have made a little thing that plugs onto the floppy drive port with voltage readings. I thought, what a great thing. I've actually been thinking about building something like that myself, but I'm not going to do it if someone else has. And so the idea is you just plug the thing onto the DB19 port, and it actually just shows you on a little readout what the different voltages are. And I think that's a really good idea. Beaumark, that's the one. Thank you, Joe. Mega, hello. Hello. What? Oh, that's right. I put all the screws back into this so I wouldn't lose them. So I have to undo them in order to put the new ones in. That was Will K-Mac. I have one to review. Okay, so, I mean, I'm sure I replied to him. I think he was going to send me one, but maybe I need to send him some postage money or something, or maybe I sent an email and then he replied and then I didn't reply to his reply, because that happens sometimes. I get so many freaking emails that I sometimes miss a few. It'd be great if I had like a personal secretary that could just go through my emails every day. It would make my life so much easier. But they would probably want to be paid, and I don't actually have money to do that. So I can't really see that happening. Bendy, bendy. There we go. was me. Received it yet? No, I haven't received it yet. How long ago was that, Will? Oh, cool. Because I have to say, I think that is just like the most awesome thing ever. Because I think I did actually mention, I probably said words to that effect, that I think that is a really cool thing to have. Just save us from worrying about connecting the, the multimeter up and everything. Just plug a thing on and go, yep, my voltage is all good. Have a nice day. Must be something else. Because we may end up having to do that with this. The fact that this was deaded, and I really didn't feel like there was enough evidence on the analogous board to suggest that the problem was there. It's connecting up this grounding wire. Apparently it's quite important. If you don't connect up the grounding wire, you can sometimes get weird display stuff happening. That's what I've heard with these SEs. Let's connect up the anode cap for the flyback transformer. Let's connect up the yoke connector. That's no yoke. Exactly. Let's get the main umbilical connector. I know it's the power connector, but I call it the umbilical connector because why not? I think I call it that because it's stuff going both ways. How about that? Carrying some food in about 3 weeks now. Okay, cool, excellent. I should. Do you want me to? Does anyone want to put links in? Raise your hand if you want to put links in, and I will make you a mod so you can put links in if you want to be selling things. So, just let me know. Just say yes, me, please. I would like to put a link in. If you don't have a link in, don't worry about it. But if you would like to put a link in, right? Okay. Well, we're connected up now, so we've got this to this, this to this, this. All of the important things are connected up. And just a reminder, this was completely dead. So, boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. All right. See how you go now. You might be able to post a link. I should be able to post a link. I shouldn't say might. Should be able to post a link. Can I put a link into my LinkedIn? Well, it depends. You're looking for a job or something, are you? All right. Okay, so let's connect up some power and we'll just see what happens. So the power supply is connected to the analog board. The analog board is connected to the logic board, and the hip bone is connected to the knee bone. And you're ready, steady, and go. See, that worked. Just straight up worked. Without any sort of issue at all. It was absolutely freaking dead before. Dead as a dead can be. I don't feel like I'm getting any display though. What have I done wrong? That's weird. Don't you reckon that's weird? I feel like that's more likely I've forgotten something than anything. That's connected, that's connected. That's connected. That's really uncommon. I am surprised to just be getting nothing. I mean, unless I need to adjust the cutoff, I wouldn't have thought. Have you tried turning it off again? Yes, I have, many times. Oh, it made a squeaky noise that I don't like. We'll just twiddle with the cutoff because we've been doing things. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but we will. No, not making any difference. So, how does the anode cap taste? It's the finest. So, why did it make a funny squeaky noise? Oh, crap! I forgot to plug in the neck board. Welcome to the shit show. See, with the Classic, you can't unplug the neck board, so it's not an issue, is it? You just go... It will work now. What a surprise! It works now. So the screen's a bit off centre. A little bit to the left. Not too bad though. Okay, so let's adjust the cutoff. So when you're wanting to adjust the cutoff on these things, what you need to do is turn the brightness up all the way. And then you get your little adjustery tool thingy, which I just had. The hell did I put it? I mean, did it fall on the ground? Anyone see where I put my little adjustery tools? Oh, just restarted by itself. How about that? Messing with me. I'll stuff it. I'll just use normal tools. There we go. So then you get the cutoff, and what you do is you turn this up just until the point when the little, because you get these little lines. I don't know, you're not going to be able to see them. Can you see those lines? You get it to the point where the lines just disappear. Just like that. And that is the correct point for the cutoff with your brightness all the way up, and then you turn it down to whatever you want, your comfortable brightness there. Is the tool under the SE? You know what? No. Nope. I mean, it's in a packet of 4 tools, and I was just using them. And then they disappeared. And I cannot for the life of me think of where they would have got to. I mean, you know, things fall off the desk all the time. That's normal. But if that had happened, they'd be on the floor here. I don't see them there. How doth someone lose these things so easily? And if I'd put them away, they'd be there. That's their home. And they're not there. Because without them, I can't really properly adjust the width. Mind you, the width's all right. It's the height we need to adjust. So with the width, you really do need to use something plastic or something certainly non-ferrous, because you will get... if I actually put this in here, you'll see it change without me even making an adjustment. See? You know that? That's just me putting the device in there. So that's why you need to use a plastic adjuster for adjusting the width, because that's like a ferrite core going through there. I used to converge 3-gun RGB CRT protectors in the 90s. The tweaker was your best friend, indeed. Anyhow. Next. Oh, I found the frickin' spring. Look. Just turn up on my desk. This is it here. It's the spring. That's the spring I lost out of the little sound plug thingy. I was literally just working at the computer here, or the desk here yesterday. I was just doing stuff, and then I just looked down and the spring's just right there. It's rolled in from wherever it rolled in. So, yeah. Look, I'll find the tools. They won't be far away, because I haven't gone anywhere. But they've just gone under something and they've become a little bit obscured and hard to see. Right, so what I'm going to do now, very quickly, we are going to boot into a system. This is System 701, which we all love. It's one of our favourite systems. I'm going to connect up a keyboard to it. We're just about finished. I'm going to move on. I'm going to head off soon and go and grab some foodie, lunchy food, because I'm hungry. Oh God, I keep stepping on this plug and bending it out of shape. There we go. That should go in now. Yay! Right, so I'm going to switch him on. We're going to boot him into system 701. Did you find the tool? No. Up and to your left. Roll the back. Roll the back. Up and to your left. Up to my left. I know it's here. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't actually need it now. It's more just about finding it. When you're starting up on System 701, it does this really annoying thing where it just sits there on this for ages. It's doing some sort of self-test or something. And then it finally just goes boom and then just starts loading up the extensions. I don't know why it's the case. If only the SE came with an OS burned into the ROMs, it would be awesome. I imagine you could probably do that these days, and someone probably has, made little custom ROMs for these where you can boot. I know you can certainly do that with the Rominators and stuff like that for the SE30 and all those other computers they work with. So you'd think it's hung, wouldn't you? You'd think this is frozen. It hasn't. Any second now, it'll kick up and it'll go. It just happens. I guess it's a System 7 thing, or it's an SE thing, or it's living in a big city with all the pollution. That could be it. There he goes. It's happy again. So I'm just going to quickly check and see whether this floppy drive works. It is a high density, so I'm going to see if I can put a high density disk in it and it works, and see whether it ejects. I will probably still need to fix the eject mechanism because we know that's just what needs doing with these. Where to put my friggin' floppies. Is someone just messing with me here today? Tricking me by moving things. I had a box of floppies. Oh, they fell down, that's right. I remember that. So, let's get a nice little high density disk here. I've got no idea if this disk works. I've never tried it before, but there we go. IBM to Mac. That is not how you spell Mac. There's no K in it. That could be an IBM disk. CompuCrush for Windows. CompuCrush for Windows. See, I think these might be Windows disks. We'll see. This person did tell me that they ended up going to Windows for this. Yeah. Let's initialize it and see what happens. Initialization failed. Is that the sound of an eject? No. It's the sound of an eject not working. We're going to get stuck in a loop here because every time I press the eject button, it's not going to eject. No. Oh, it tried. Nearly. Come on, we can do it. Yeah, something tells me that drive might need a little bit of servicing. Okay, well, I think it is time for me to get some lunch. So, well, this is it. This is the Mac. It's not dead anymore. It was dead. Now it's not dead. So that's all good. It went well, and I've got another SE. Going to have to service the floppy drive. I might do that in another live stream some other time, or I might just do it whenever. So, all right, let's just jump across quickly here. We'll do the normal goodbye type stuff. So thank you everyone for joining me for this live stream. I know it was a pretty weird day and time for me to be live streaming, but I was going to be down here fixing it anyway, so may as well. I ended up with a lot more people watching than I thought, and so thank you very much for keeping me entertained and keeping the chat lively and all the silliness that ensued. I don't know if I'll ever find those little adjusting tools, but I'm imagining that they'll turn up at some stage. So, right, just checking all the chat here. So, yep, all the folks. Zulu Scuzzy off your recently works fantastic on my Plus. Oh, that is good to hear. So, just a quick question for you, Todus. Did you are you powering that Zulu externally, or did you put the diode on the Mac Plus board in order to get termination power? I'm just curious about that as to what people end up doing with that. But you've got 15 seconds to answer the question. 14. Go away, no. Go away, no. Yeah, critical drinker. That's good fun stuff. Yeah. Okay. Zulus. Bloody thousands of them. All right. Okay, I'm going to finish it off now. So thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Have a good rest of evening, morning, whatever it happens to be. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you at the next live stream. Bye now.